In 2022, OpenAI's chatbot, ChatGPT, took the world by storm. Many users use it for educational purposes or for personal leisure. But this tool is also very beneficial, but it also has some unwanted involvements, which is namely bias and misinformation. As you can see in this following demographic by Emily Vogels from the Pew Research Center, 18% of American adults have both heard and used ChatGPT a lot, whereas 39% have only heard it a little and used it a little, whereas a wide 42% have heard or not used ChatGPT at all.
As the significance of ChatGPT was introduced by Dustin, we know that ChatGPT has a broad purpose and a lot of users. According to this pie chart given by OpenAI company, it shows the resources that ChatGPT uses when it's generating or responding to the user. 60% of them are internet crowded material, 22% of them are curated content from internet, and 3% of them are from Wikipedia. The only credible source in this whole pie chart are the 15% books, according to London South Bank University, stating that books in this pie chart are the only trusted source. The other sources, however, are not, with them all being very easily able to alter and change to fit the user's preference or its view. An example of this is Wikipedia. Since Wikipedia is an open source page, anyone can change it or alter it. The information on the site will be changed, and it proves its unreliability, and despite only being 3%. Think about it. When it comes to works or studies that are more professional, complicated, or for educational purpose, these numbers could be significant, and the misinformations can lead to bigger issues. An example of ChatGPT being biased is according to researcher Chris Westphal. The researcher indicates that significant bias in ChatGPT, particularly against non-Western religion. A study found out that when presented with Muslim-centered prompt, the model generates violent content 60% of the time, and drops to 20% even when the prompt is revised more positively. It's still anomalously high compared to other religions. Additionally, ChatGPT shows a marked preference for left-leaning opinions on 14 of 15 assessed political orientations, highlighting the potential danger of ChatGPT and Western-centric stereotype in sensitive content. Another example of ChatGPT being biased is a study done by Bosker and his colleagues, revealing that ChatGPT produces false information, harmful bias, and stereotype. Using 2,300 probes across 9 social category groups, the study found variability in the model's response, with some categories such as religion receive positive sentiments, while others such as political or any other else receive negative sentiment. These findings highlight the need for continued security to mitigate bias and misinformation in AI-generated content, especially in ChatGPT.
These are our proposed solutions. Solution 1, routine checkup on AI system. Strength, it's going to enhance reliability. As you know, if we enhance the checkups, we can enhance the reliability by putting pretty big margins. And it also adapts to social norms, as social norms change as quickly as we think. For example, nowadays people use Facebook, social media, Instagram, those things. And it's going to change the social norms as quickly as you guys think. And according to Linhart, the research is suggesting that social norms will be moved at a faster rate based on people's rates of consumption of social media. So this quote by Linhart supports that the consumption of social media really matters on the adaptation to societal norms. And three weaknesses of these is the payment of screening process. As we know, the one routine checkup takes huge amount of cost. To be able to earn this cost is really challenging. And second, the ability to find educational professional for this is challenging, and especially those who are highly skilled. Third, cost of time. One routine checkups take a huge amount of time. It's not easy to complete one routine checkup. As you know, the database of ChatGPT is really big, so it's really hard to do it at one day. Solution 2, compatible with education.
This solution, we would be educating students in schools with knowledge so that they would not have to use ChatGPT. As mentioned in our introduction, many people use ChatGPT for educational work. In this following demographic also from Pew Research Center, you can tell that 23% of US teens use ChatGPT a lot, whereas 32% use it not at all. This signifies that students use ChatGPT a lot, but if we were to do this and give them newer generational knowledge in schools, they would not need to do this at all.
What are some weaknesses of these? As you see in this chart, by World Economic Forum annual meeting, the amount of digital divide is significantly increasing, and increasing in a rapid rate. So this brings up our three main claims: isolation, educational barriers, and gender discrimination. According to Professor Hay, Priest, and Clarity, during COVID-19, most of the schools did online classes, but 28% of students didn't have internet access to attend classes. This shows the isolation really matters in the digital divide, and 28% is a huge amount number, and this statistics is the worldwide scale, so it is really pretty big number. Second, educational barrier. According to IEE, connecting the unconnected and increasing school district internet access spending improved graduation rates by 4.7%. 4.7% here is a pretty huge number. It's all the school plus together and use it as the average. And the internet usage nowadays is really huge, and this creates educational barriers. Third, gender discrimination. According to Professor Hepper, only 63% of women were using internet, compared to 69% of men. This gap shows that it's not only about educational barriers and isolation. Gender discrimination is also a matter that contributes to the digital divide.
Now, for our final and third solution, we would propose restrictions on information that ChatGPT can access. A strength of this is that we would be able to combat misinformation and bias within ChatGPT. If we were to do this, we would regulate what information ChatGPT is able to give to its responses. As seen earlier by Tony, in the graph given by OpenAI on ChatGPT's sources, 3% of those sources come from Wikipedia. And Wikipedia, as Tony mentioned, being an open source page, anybody can edit and add what they want and desire into there, which means bias and misinformation can be spread there. But if we were to regulate the information that ChatGPT accesses, we can fight this and prevent it. Now, one major weakness of this would be that censorship is not widely accepted in the United States. As you can see in this political map, the United States is mostly dominated by both the Republican and Democrat parties, and both of these parties are well against censorship and any type of it. So this would pose as a major problem for us.
Thank you for this presentation. I have some questions for you. Let's start with Vincent. Describe how the content of the team presentation was changed as a result of group discussion. Please give a specific example.
At first, our group is doing the digital divide, but as we continued our discussion, we found that doing ChatGPT is much easier, and later on we can also combine the digital divide into this presentation. For example, solution to combat it with education. I managed to found that the digital divide, I can easily put digital divide in here, and it makes the overall fluency better.
Thank you. Dustin, reflecting on your colleagues' work, which one had the greatest impact on your overall understanding of the problem your group identified?
Reflecting on my colleagues' work, Tony had a more impact on my overall understanding of this subject. This was because he researched upon bias within ChatGPT, which I also researched. Except I was researching a political lens, whereas he was researching a different lens. An example of this would be that his information was, he found information that was related to Muslim hate content on ChatGPT, which I had previously not found in any of my research. So this helped expand and change my thinking of this.
Thank you. And finally, Tony, how did the group decide to include Dustin's perspective, lens, or conclusions into the overall presentation?
Well, our group decided to include Dustin's perspective on political bias in ChatGPT because it added a critical dimension to our overall analysis. While my focus was on religious and cultural, Dustin provided a political lens that can reinforce my idea, and it suits that ChatGPT being biased because our IRR had the same and related topics. For instance, when I was introducing the example, when I was addressing the problem, we added religion and politics, which we can compare the two and found out that some of them are corrected by ChatGPT, while politics are more negatively introduced by ChatGPT.
Thank you.